As you have probably noticed by now, I have the whole series about going through each and every one of classes in D&D 5e. But why not condense my thoughts about each class in a simple tier list like I have done with races, right? It will be pretty simple, pretty quick. It will set an expectation for the future videos of the other series, so let's start with it, right? Okay, so as you can see, we are using a tier list made by jaxnopal. Nopal? I don't know. So there is no clever or funny, if you could even call them that, tier names, just, you know, your standard S to D this time. So without further ado, let's get started this time. However, this time we will be going through D to S in order, because there are a lot less classes and there are races, so, you know, it will make things a little bit more organized. Starting with D tier. There is really only one class that, at least for me, deserves a place there, and that is Barbarian. See, they are just tanks that deal decent damage, right? As they level up, they don't get anything other than, oh, I can tank more damage, oh, I can deal more damage. There is just, okay, I'm going to give them that. They have fun subclasses, some of them at least. For example, the Beast one, I don't remember what it's called, or the Wild Magic one, but other than that, they are just worse fighters. Even in the subclass department, they are just worse fighters. Then, in C tier, we would have Rogues, first things first. They are okay as a sort of espionage, sneaking type of martial class, but at the same time, they get nothing. Again, I mean, they have some fun tools, like the ability to just not roll below a 10 with things they are proficient in, or their subclasses are pretty fun, but at the same time, they just lack damage. In combat, basically, you either have a short sword or a short bow or a crossbow, I guess, if you wish, and meh. Then in the same tier, we have monks, a little higher than barbarians, just because I like their flavor, their concept, you know, and Astral Salve is one of my favorite subclasses overall. But overall, like, people say that they are the worst class in this edition, especially after the rework of Rangers. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree, other than the fact that, again, their flavor is cool, they don't really get any more love from me. Then in B tier, we have, first things first, the new Ranger. I mean, they are certainly cool. The druid flavor of magic plus martial abilities is a very, very, very good mix, if I'm going to be honest. They are just great. I think they should get as a class feature, not as a subclass feature. I think they should get a pet overall, but decent. Not before Tasha's, but after Tasha's, great. Then we have, as a surprise to some, fighters. Genuinely, I like fighters. They are, as far as pure martials go, probably the best in the game. At least for me, in flavor, in capabilities, in subclasses, they just encompass everything I like about martials, at least in terms of combat, because outside of combat, again, as martials, they get nothing. None. Null. Nada. Which should change, but as I said, I do not think they are doing all that much for it in, or the next edition, or however it's called. So, yeah. And last for the tier, we have actually the first full caster, Bard. Yes, they are very versatile and their inspiration helps. Magical secrets are pretty unique. I feel like they lack something. They lack their uniqueness as a class. I mean, okay, they have bardic inspiration, okay, they can just nab things from other classes, but there's no little flair of, you know, unless you count subclasses, but every class got that, so. And then, second to last, a tier, we have clerics. First and foremost, they are, I wouldn't say unique. No, they are not unique. They are pretty powerful, especially for multiclassing purposes, because they get the brand of their features at level 1, or the ones that are important. But again, just not my cup of tea. You know? Then we have the druid. Out of the two, both druids and clerics are sort of very, not sort of, very similar to one another in terms of at least like party dynamics. Druid is 100% better, more versatile, more fun to play. Yes, they are one of the harder classes for a beginner to pick up. I can testify to that. But come on, who wouldn't like turning into bear or an octopus even just to goof off? Then we have the second to last half casted on this list, Artificers, the newest class and the only one released after the player's handbook. Artificers are great. They fill a niche of a class, again, using intelligence, which, aside from subclasses, there are only two, them and wizards, which, I mean, come on, like, at least give warlocks the ability to pick between them when they create the character. But anyway, yeah, the only things that hold them back are, one, the fact that they don't really get any love outside of the books that they were released in for whatever reason, and two, that there are no really solid rules for creating magic items that don't take ages to carry out, so yeah. And then the last one, we have wizards. Yes, some people would claim that how the sorcerers are just weaker wizards, how dare you put them higher, because they will be higher. But think about it, wizards, as I said numerous times now, I like them, I love them. A lot of my characters are wizards, but they are literally carried by the fact that their spell list is massive, right? They cannot really get anything too interesting outside of like chronoturges and stuff like that, because when they do get interesting or powerful stuff for their class or subclass, they break the game. They get too powerful. They are too powerful as it is. And while, yes, the spell list in 5e is great, it's powerful, it's unique, it's everything, wizards just suffer because of it, honestly. They just get spell. And finally, the coveted, the wanted S tier, of course, everything is my opinion. We have at the bottom Paladins. I made the video about them last week, actually. They are neat, they are the perfect martial, even if they do cast spells, but at the same time, like, cut them some slack. If you changed up their spells for, I don't know, like features or something like that, it would be great. Paladins are great. They have subclass-based capstone. I love them. They are flavor, power, nova, everything you want in a martial is here, you know? Then we have sorcerers, the, if not more powerful, the superior in design, full caster in, you know, than wizards. They get less spells, yes, but that allows the creators to be a lot more creative with their subclasses. Their meta magic options are honestly one of my favorite mechanics in the game. Like, you can just change the way a spell behaves. It's just great. I love them. And finally, last but certainly not least, my favorite class in 5e, Warlock. Warlocks, I mean, I went on a tangent with them in my, again, video about them. They are the most customizable, the most unique, the most, well, the most everything. My only grievances are really that, A, they are very, very, very much locked with Eldritch Blast, which is not very ideal. I want to play a very customizable class. I do not want to be locked up in a single counter. And Hexblade is just too powerful. Anyway, that has been my 100% objective and 0% subjective tier list of classes in DnD 5th edition. If you wish to see more of them, maybe some about subclasses of certain classes or something similar, be sure to tell me in the comments, and I know where you live.